This week we're watching Netflix's Bridgerton Season 4, otherwise known as Acting Her Tits Off.
Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the book pod where we celebrate the heroines we love
and roast the ones we don't. We'll find you the best 5-star reads, the spiciest romance, and save you from the overhyped DNFs.
If it's romance, we'll read it.
Or watch it.
We like every flavor. So grab your favorite drink and get cozy. Welcome to Season 4. I am so pleased so far with Season 4.
I am too, dude. Okay. You haven't seen the Harry Potter movies, right?
I have.
Oh, okay. Did you notice anything about Araminta?
Oh, yeah. It's Cho Chang.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad that you... I had no idea until I saw like a TikTok about it, and I was like, Cho Chang, what are you doing?
She is perfect.
Oh my God, phenomenal. That was like one of my main takeaways is the casting for her and the daughters, fucking spot on, no notes. Emmy, whatever award you give to TV shows, dog.
I think you wrote this down. They took some notes from criticisms from past seasons because it's so much closer to the actual book.
Yeah.
And I would say that there's some aspects that they improved upon from the book, which is so rare. Like I don't think we could say that about some of the other seasons of Bridgerton. But
I feel like season 2 with the Sharmas being from India, I feel like was a really good like improvement. And then I feel like with this one, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there was a few moments where I was like, that's not like the book, but I like it more. A 10 out of 10.
Not to start off with negativity, what I don't like about Bridgerton in general, not just this season, but most of the seasons, is they use sex as filler so fucking much in this show. Like, frankly, I don't care about all of these other couples now that they're done. Like, you met your true love. We don't care anymore. Yep. That's how these books work. Yeah. And so for them to bounce around to all the other couples, just having sex, because that's what it all, like every single episode that's out so far, it feels like, oh, we have some plot progression. Okay, the readers need something. Let's show Colin and Penelope getting it on the carriage. I'm like,
that was like a jump scare.
I don't need that. Or Francesca and Michael, or not Michael.
That's exactly how I felt in season 3 too, because we kept getting flashbacks to Anthony and Kate, and I was like, no, they're done. I don't care. Like, woo, they're beautiful, and the costumes were amazing, but like, no, thank you.
I just wonder what the thought process is in filming it that way. It is just straight filler.
And I feel like it almost takes away screen time from the main couple getting together, which I feel like was kind of one of my complaints about the pacing of these 4 episodes. That when we go from, I think, like episode 2 to episode 3 is when Sophie gets hired at the Cavender's house. It feels like it's like back-to-back events, and it's like there's like a 2 or 3 year gap between those events in the book, and it just felt like very like, how do you not recognize her? Like you just saw her.
And episode 1 could have opened because they did it in reverse, right? They did the ball, and then they backtracked to show Sophie getting ready for the ball in episode 2. I wish they had just started with Sophie and shown her backstory right off the start, because this is about her. Instead, we get the whole Bridgerton family. Cool. We've seen you for 4 years now. I'm over it.
Yep, I don't need any more. This might be a hot take, but the last episode of season 3 was this like random ball that the Featheringtons threw, and that was like kind of like the main plot line. That should have been the masquerade ball. So then like in the viewer's like perspective, that event, Benedict meets the love of his life. And then we get this long-ass, year-long gap before the next season comes out. And then it goes into Sophie's, like, backstory. And you're like, why are we hearing about this girl? And then you're like, oh, she is the lady in silver. I feel like that would have added. But it was just, like, very, like, jarring. But that does not take away from how perfect Araminta was. I'm, like, shocked.
She has the perfect venomous expression. And it's that, like, holier than thou, look down her nose at you kind of...
Yeah, she just has this like cunning perspective. I never could totally picture cunning, but if you type the word cunning, you have to think of her face. There's a lot going on behind the eyes. She knows that she's being played, that something's going on. She just like immediately figured out the whole Sophie thing.
What I absolutely loved, and I think we might be jumping a little bit around. So in episode 2, this is where you kind of go backwards and you meet Sophie as a child and then her interactions with her new stepsisters and stepmother. But when you see Araminta step out of the carriage with her daughters and she's meeting all the servants and she's like, oh, who is this sweet girl? It's genuine. She is honestly excited to meet this little girl. She probably assumes it's a niece or a family friend or something. And like the joy on her face as she's meeting this little girl is there. And then you see like how she realizes, oh no, this is my husband's bastard.
Yeah.
And he's asking me to just tolerate her living here.
Yeah.
And just to watch all the emotions like transfer across her face, fucking brilliant.
Yeah. It was like devastation. Like I can't even name all of the emotions, but I felt them all. I was like, no, which is hard because I don't want to feel anything for Araminta. Like, let her be this like nasty bitch off in the shadows. But I was like, I kind of get it though.
Yeah. It
like
was...
the real villain is her dad. Oh, wow. We can also maybe divulge or like dedicate a lot of time to talking about later Bridgerton's plotline in this. I loved it. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I kind of wish that either she's given her own season.
No, that's fair.
Or it wasn't as overt. Because it seems like every single subplot is just a sexual tension plotline.
No, that's fair.
For every single character.
Yeah.
And I get that this is a romance show,
Mm-hmm.
but the romance is drowned out by all the sex.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I feel the exact same way, except her little like montage scene about him coming over for tea.
Oh, she's trying to get ready.
Oh my God. I just loved it. It was so like heartwarming because I feel like Lady Bridgerton is on like the, peripheries of all of these and she just like cares so much about her kids. But then she's like taking this one moment of like, they're all a little bit older. Like I can be who I want to be.
I will say that is one of the things that kind of struck me along with Araminta's casting. I could not think of another show that has so many women in the cast that are over the age of 40 or over the age of 50.
That's
and like
true.
It's obvious that they are, and they're not thrown into like a grandmother role.
Yeah.
Like they are actually pivotal players in the plot and they have their own like interesting plot line.
I love this because, I mean, Lady Danbury is a widow. Lady Bridgerton is a widow. Lady Featherington, killed off her not husband.
Queen Charlotte.
Yeah. These are all like
and they all get lots of screen time.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I will say that kind of leads us into a good point. I don't really understand the point of I don't even know their names. The random like additional couple that he was like a boxer.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think there are actual characters in the book, but they're given an unnecessary amount of time on the show. Like I don't care. Like we are clearly here to watch Benedict and Sophie. Let them be on screen.
Yeah, dude, because they kept bringing up all of these other plot lines. I felt that way in season 3 and then into season 4. It's like they're nice people. The Mondriches. Yeah. They're nice people. I like them. It's cool. Happy that they have been like randomly elevated into society, but like I could not give less of a fuck.
You know what? It kind of feels like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones did that successfully, where they had multiple storylines, multiple characters, all with valid amounts of the same screen time, and it drew everybody in and you cared about all of them, even if they were assholes.
That's true.
And it's like trying to do that same thing, but we don't care about them anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because, I mean, all of their, like, plot lines are intertwined the same way as Game of Thrones. But, yeah, I think there's just something, like, you see their emotion and you feel it yourself in Game of Thrones. That's kind of, like, maybe, like, missing sometimes from...
Well, it's telling that the book doesn't operate like the shows do. Like, each book is centered on a couple, and you don't get these jumping perspectives to all the other couples.
We need to talk about how much I hate Francesca and John's storyline.
You and the rest of the world, apparently.
It's so, like, unnecessary and weird. I have no idea how they are going to come back from this, like, Michaela, like, switcheroo. I want to say, first of all, that I don't care that she is a woman. I think it's, like, a fun little twist, but I think that the original, like, plot is too different to cast, like, a female character in it and then to constantly, like, throw her into the plot. I feel like kind of does a disservice to, like, what the Francesca, what is the Michael, like, plot line is supposed to be, where he, like, feels bad the entire time because he's, like, lusting over his brother's wife, but he never does anything about it, and that's, like, his biggest, like, impediment the whole time of their book. But, like, keep throwing, like, Michaela in, and she's like, obviously, like, Francesca is, like, feeling some kind of way about it, like, why am I attracted to her? Like, I feel like it kind of does a disservice to the fact that she's, like, married to John.
I don't caveat. I didn't read Francesca's story,
Oh, okay.
but if I recall correctly, because I my
Mhm.
reading the synopsis and talking to people who have read it's a disservice to her as a character because she is, I think, devoted to her husband, and she is a very tragic widow. And she doesn't enter her secondary romance until she's been widowed for several years,
Yep.
and even then, there's many, many hurdles. And so to have this overlapping kind of love triangle when she's already married
Mhm.
makes it dirty.
Yucky. Yes, I feel because I read the book, and that's kind of like the point, is she has this is like kind of a plot spoiler, trigger warning kind of thing, but she has like a really devastating miscarriage after John dies. And so like she was carrying the baby and she's like, okay, I don't have John anymore, but I have the baby. And then like, bam, miscarriage. So it's like double devastating. She runs away. Nobody like hears from her. And then like all of a sudden she's like, forced into like confronting Michael. And she's like, I can't deal with this. Like, you look like your brother. Like, this is weird. This is like dishonoring him. So I don't see how all of that plays out, especially if, like, the bulk of the season 4 has been, like, them trying to figure out how to, like, make love in a satisfying way. Like,
Mhm.
that's kinda, like, yucky too, because it's like, do you guys even wanna be together? And there's no on-screen chemistry at all between
None at
them.
all. It's also really frustrating because you do not need a shitty romance or a shitty sex life between, John and Francesca to justify a sapphic romance.
Yes!
Just have her have a decent marriage.
Yep.
He tragically dies, and then, it's like,
Yeah.
don't make her, like, attraction to Michaela
Yeah.
be the cause of her marriage ending.
Mhm. It's spot on the hammer, nail, whatever that phrase is. I feel the exact same way. And not to also like kind of disregard the fact that um there's some kind of like interesting, yuckiness behind casting this character who's sort of like a playboy, goes on all of these like adventures because that's his whole like thing in the
Mhm.
books is he's like this, rake and he
Mhm.
tells Francesca all of these like scandalous things and she's like, "Oh my god, I don't want to hear it." Casting a Black woman in that role, I feel like also has some kind of like questionable, like, are you really trying to like drive home these like really toxic stereotypes about Black women and then like forcing that into the role? I just have some questions how it's going to play out. I'm kind of sick of seeing them in season 4. Like, I just want to hear about Sophie. It's like, let them have their thing, but you're almost like ruining it. Like, I don't want to watch their season now.
No. And it's probably gonna be next season.
Oh, God, I want Eloise's.
Eloise.
She's kind of annoying in this season.
Yeah, she is. And I think that's part of the problem with doing the books, like doing the shows out of order of the books as well. And
Yep.
also, it's a problem when you give these characters so much screen time when your focus should be on the main couple.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be annoyed by Eloise and we'd be looking forward to her season if we didn't have her bitching about being on the marriage mart every 10 minutes.
I will say there was a few moments where I got over my annoyance and I just felt bad for her,
Mhm.
specifically when Francesca and Penelope are talking about marriage things. And then Eloise comes in and she's like, "Oh, like, what are you guys talking about?" And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, just like marriage things and
You
biscuits."
wouldn't get it.
Oh my God. Because I've been that person, like
Mhm.
on the periphery of like, a
Mhm.
friendship, and you're like, okay, this is fine. Like, happy for you that you have other friends, but like also.
Especially when her favorite brother is like, yeah, I'm in love too,
Oh my
actually, and I
God.
also want to get married. She's like, you traitor.
Yeah. Dude. So who do you think is gonna be the next season? Do you think it's gonna be Francesca?
I think it's good. I think it has to be Francesca, otherwise they wouldn't be
Mm.
giving her and Michaela and John so much time.
I could see that. Because I did see something on one of the subreddits that there was like a casting call for a 9-month-old baby. And so everybody's like, whose baby is this that's gonna be in like for next season? So I'm
Mhm.
like, what is that? Whose is it, like, a flashback for Eloise's backstory with what's his name? The guy that
Sir
gets
Philip.
who gets
Mhm.
married to the other chick from
Yeah, the one that
season
Colin
1.
liked.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I hope it's Eloise. I think it's gonna be Francesca, which is like I feel some kind of way about, but yeah.
We've done a lot of complaining.
I know, I'm so sorry. I love Sophie though. She is such a convincing actress. I don't know who this gal is, but like,
She's my favorite out of, maybe excluding the gal who plays Kate
oh yeah.
Sharma. Sophie And Sophie's my favorite of the Bridgerton heroines, too.
Really?
It just...
Oh,
Anyway,
you like a Cinderella story.
you don't have to say it like that, Katie.
No, I do dabble in the Cinderellas.
But she does Cinderella well without being too downtrodden or kind of submissive. She's not that. And kind of that gets into how she attends the ball in the first thing. She's like, well, no, like I'm not gonna go. Like this doesn't make sense. I'll get in trouble. She's very practical, which you don't usually get in Cinderella characters. They're too busy like living in the fantasy of being saved. But Sophie's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go.
Literally.
So she's attending and she's just gazing at all of the sparkles around her in her silver dress. And then here comes Benedict. And, I love Benedict, but I do feel like the actor is a little old.
Yeah.
Playing the role that he is. Because he looks closer in age to Lady Bridgerton than he does to Sophie.
Yeah. I saw similar comments online about that, and I think that's why Benedict's story is in this season, is because it's like kind of less conceivable as he gets older for him to be like the romantic lead without it being like kind of like yucky.
Plausible explanation though, he is a drinker and a smoker and he lives a really hard life, and that kind of shows on your face and your body after a while. So there could be that, but also it doesn't quite seem believable.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because there was something kind of like not disbelieving, but there was something keeping me from totally loving him as a love interest, and I feel like it's just that like not age gap, but it's like
he doesn't look like the right match for Sophie.
Yeah. And this sounds so bad, like we're like age shaming him, but I think it's more just like the dynamic of like she's way younger, and I know that's how they do it back then, but
it's a visual medium though. Like if you want to appeal to your audiences, like they have to have chemistry, and like I do think there is some chemistry there, but
not a lot though.
No, not enough.
I will say the scene, and I think it speaks to what is the actress's name that plays Sophie in Bridgerton, because I feel like we need to like give her props. Let's see. Yerin Ha. The scene where she is watching Benedict talking to Posey, I think, and she's watching him from the hallway. Girl is acting her fucking tits off. It is so it is so good. I felt the tension. I was like, just do it. But it's like she's just, phenomenal.
She is carrying the show.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Her and her mom.
I know. Her and Cho Chang like doing work. But that scene, like her as an actress, it had kind of zero to do with Benedict and everything to do. She was like selling it, because you could see the indecision on her face of like, I could do this and my life will be completely changed. But like, who am I to think that he'll even remember? Oh my God. Such a good scene.
I don't have anything to say after that, because she's perfect. And then you just continue to see this great acting from her throughout each episode. When we go to the Cavender's house after the ball, she gets kicked out by Araminta, just like the books happen. Did like that they changed the fact that she didn't steal the shoe clips.
Yes.
Posey gave them to her, which is like, that makes so much more sense for this character. Good call, screenwriters. So it goes to the Cavenders. And also another change here. Instead of Sophie being the one who's attacked by the three lords, it's another maid who's attacked. And Sophie's like, you run, I'm going to take care of this. And Benedict, Benedict comes in and he's like, no, you're not going to take care of this either. But he kind of gets his ass kicked too.
Yeah. I didn't realize that had changed, but I like that more. I think it speaks to Sophie as a character more too, that she's like, no, not under my watch.
They gave Sophie more backbone in the show than she has in the books.
I could see that. But I think that kind of speaks to what makes some Cinderella characters more like, I don't even know the right word. Like you want to believe in them. You want to like, you love them. Because it's like they have kind of like gumption. They have like a backbone. It's like they haven't been totally worn down by the craziness that's around them. But they're like, nah, fuck this. Like, I've been through worse. Like, get out of here. I'll fucking fight these dudes. It's like, girl, you're like 90 pounds.
Exactly. They make it to my cottage as expected, it was so nice to see the progression exactly as it occurs in the actual story. And Sophie, of course, breaks into the cottage because he cannot. He falls sick. What are the housekeeper and her husband?
The Crabtrees.
The Crabtrees discover them. It was just so well done. And the other thing that they changed here is that instead of Benedict dying from man flu,
he was stabbed.
He was actually stabbed, which is a way more believable long recovery time. why Sophie would be more concerned in taking care of him.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Instead of literally the
Like,
man
I'm sick.
Oh my gosh. I will say her little interactions of trying to relax and she just like can't. That's
So relatable. I need a job all the time.
Yeah. Especially she was just like going around her business in the garden. She's like, oh, how beautiful. And she's like, don't pull the weeds. Don't do it.
And then streaks of mud
Yep.
all over her dress.
Like, no, what? This is what I get. And then I do think that the like kite flying scene was like kind of touching. Like, I got it at that point. I was like, oh, he like brings out the carefree, you know, like you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders all the time. You can like hang out and have fun. I was like, I get it now.
That's about the same time that I started to like Benedict more. And I've always liked Benedict, like, in the show. But you can see kind of the conflict on his face that he likes Sophie as a person. But he's also like, she's a maid. I'm a gentleman. This will not work. I've been raised the proper way. And like that constant anxiety you see from him, and he wants to be near Sophie but knows he shouldn't. It was so good.
Yeah, he conveyed that so well because you add in this like third angle of the triangle that he's also waiting for the lady in silver. You can see all of that playing out on his face, which is crazy.
Yeah, the romantic tension, I think, really escalates through episode 2 and 3.
Episode 3 is when we have the lake scene, the swimming.
Oh man, we were waiting for that.
Yep.
And they delivered.
Yeah, they did. There was a lot of butts in
I
this.
did not. I don't. No one ever needs that amount of man. Like, I'm sorry.
It's like fun and a like, oh, there's the butt, but it's also like, I don't.
Is this just trying to get back at like every other, casting choice for the last 40, 50 years?
Forever.
Like gratuitous boobs.
Yep.
So now we're
Oh
gonna
my
have gratuitous
God.
ass.
Dog.
Like no.
Yep, I'm just good with like no nudity. That's an option.
Like, can we not look at Pride and Prejudice, Keira Knightley version and see that you just need a hand scene?
Yep.
Completely clothed.
Yep. There's no nudity.
Walking through the grass at dawn.
Yep.
Like,
Oh.
that's all. Or you need a soaking wet t-shirt.
And slutty. Season 2 did that.
Uh-huh.
Way more. That was one of my favorite scenes in season 2. And it's like, there's a lot of, gratuitous nudity in that one. But like my favorite one was him jumping in a lake.
I think Bridgerton consistently misses out on the subtlety of period romance. They just slap you in the face HBO style with, here's sparkles and here's sex and here's nudity. Like, we know you want it. We don't. Maybe there are some viewers who like it.
I guess, but it's like Game of Thrones is there for that. You know what I mean? Like that's like constantly in those shows. So like, why do you also need it in Bridgerton? Because season 2, all those fucking like moments between Anthony and Kate of them like almost kissing, dog. Just put a bunch of those. Yeah, we're on the same page. Varley. That subplot with the Featheringtons and Varley being like, hey, dog, like, could I maybe get a raise? Like, I do a lot for you guys. And Miss Featherington being like, I don't think it's in
Here's
the budget.
some dresses.
Oh my God. And then she's like, well, if you want to leave, like, I'm not going to beg you. You guys have been through the fucking literally. Like, that scene kind of like made me like tear up.
I saw that scene and I was like, why are we wasting our time on this?
Yeah, no, that's true. I feel a lot of emotions
I
sometimes.
know. We love you for that, Katie.
Oh my God. But no, that's fair. That's a very valid.
I think, again, Downton Abbey is another show that has many, many storylines and different characters that all get varying screen times. And it works. So maybe it's just us.
I think it's Downton Abbey that like made my brain click. I think it's because the plot is still at the forefront. Like when you go to the different perspective, it's like their perspective about the plot that's happening. And I think that's why it feels cohesive. Because I'm just thinking of the butler and the gal maid who like have their love whatever thing on the sidelines. When they talk, it's always like moments that are still pertinent to the plot. But if you think about Bridgerton, the Varley thing, if that didn't happen, it wouldn't have any impact on anything.
We're supposed to believe in the maid wars, which is very different from the book, but I think it works fine, whatever. It just, why would we watch this when we can watch Benedict and Sophie like circle around each other some more?
That's true. Because I mean, all of the sidelines about the other characters don't really play any part in
No.
the plot.
It's just you want to see them because
You
apparently
miss them.
Yeah, but we don't.
No. Episode 4, obviously Lady Bridgerton getting her comeuppance in a good way. I don't know.
I forget the name. It's Lady Danbury's brother, right?
Marcus.
Yes, we can see more of him.
That's a fine man. Oh my god. I just love when she is like on the settee or whatever and she's like, I'm your tea. And he's like, no what? I signed up for this. I'm on board. Like, no questions.
And I love how she kicks all of her children and all of the servants out of the house.
I love that. And I also love her maid being like, I got you, girl. You are going
Get
to
it.
enjoy. We all need a wing woman.
Mhm.
She like looked, I think, like in her bra and she's like, that's not bad.
Too bad.
I love that. It was just so like relatable. Like, I don't know. It was fun. I don't know what it is, but I love you. You're my mom too. Gosh. And then I think the hallway scene is the only other like memorable. Did you not like it?
You have mixed feelings about it. It works for what it is.
Okay.
So this is the same night that Lady Bridgerton kicks all her kids out. And Sophie's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the tavern with you. We're going to have a great time. She's like, I forgot something. So she runs back into the house. And this is the moment where Benedict has this self-realization that I love Sophie. I want her to be my mistress. It's the most romantic thing in the world. And he runs to his mother's house to go accost Sophie. They run into each other in the hallway and shenanigans ensue.
What didn't you like about it? Or what left you like wanting?
I don't know.
That's fair.
I think that was the right move to close. If they were going to break this out into 2 parts, this is how you kind of leave it on a high note. And Sophie's internal conflict with her being attracted to Benedict, not knowing how to process that, and then shoving him away. Cool. But there was no. Did he ask her to be his mistress?
I feel like I think yes, but unclear. I feel the same way of like I don't know if they even like talked about it or not.
I think now that I think about it, I think it feels too rushed. Like you can convey that anxiety and that rush to, be with the other person, but it felt like there was too much going on in that episode.
I could see
between between Lady Bridgerton and what's his name?
Marcus.
He's just hot man now.
Yes.
And then all of the other stuff because I think Michaela arrives this episode too.
And then Lady Danbury trying to like leave. That happens. Yeah.
So you're jumping around to all these other things and there's not enough like build up until you just get this, oh yeah, they're attracted to each other and now they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I feel like it's just, they devote too much screen time to the other characters, like you were saying. I think the way that the scene was created, that you like went back and forth and you had that tension of them going to the same place and then they run into each other. I think I liked the idea of that and like a cinematic kind of perspective. And then like obviously they're like, fuck it. And then they have their like make out, whatever. It's cute. And then she's like, oh, and then breaks it off. I feel like cinematically, like it looked nice, but now that you bring up that it was too fast, I feel like that's a very legitimate like criticism.
So I think back to Keira Knightley, Pride and Prejudice, the build up to them meeting like in the dawn in the field. There's so much of just tension with like they need to see each other. And so you have so much time like spent on them that when they finally do meet, it's like, oh, thank God. We've been waiting for this for hours. And this is just, oh yeah, here's more sex on screen.
I almost wonder if it would be better if it wasn't a spicy makeout. Like some kind of like slower, more like tension build. Because that is a good point. But like in my head, I can't think of a different way that they could have done it. That would be like more. It could just be like, a criticism of the whole.
I mean, because think of how they run into each other in the books and how they eventually have sex, which is she runs into or she sees Araminta and she panics. He sees her, he takes her back, and he's just comforting her, like legitimately comforting her. That would have been a cool scene to see.
I agree, because I feel like we even got her perspective during those of her like, let me have one more moment to like reflect on, because like Araminta just kicked me out. I might even get like fucking arrested. Like this is one moment that I will like keep me happy for the rest of my life. Like let me enjoy this one thing and then I'm going to leave and like try to figure out my life. It was like convincing. You like got why she wanted to like hook up with him. But I do agree that in this TV series, it seemed like it was just hormones almost, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a disservice to Benedict because you can see that he genuinely likes Sophie as a person. And if his motivation was, I don't want her to be a servant in my family's house. I want her to have her own life. I want to take care of her, provide for her. If I also get to fuck her, cool.
Great.
But like showing him wanting to make her his mistress because he wants to take care of her, not because he wants a fuck buddy, would have been so much better for him because that's truly part of his motivation in the book, but it's just not conveyed here.
That's a really good point because I didn't even consider that just watching the TV show that there was that aspect of it that he wanted to take care of her. So that it does do kind of a disservice to Benedict. Like that's a really good observation, I feel. It makes me sad though. They deserve better.
You can still appreciate the scene, but and we still have 4 more episodes to go on this show. So
I have mad beef. It comes out in a week and I'm like, I obviously want to finish it, but it's like, why?
Why did they break it up the way they did? I saw somewhere people were complaining like, you missed Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh my God. Heard that it was because they want you to have 2 months worth of subscription because people would like get 1 month of subscription, watch the whole thing, and then cancel.
That's bullshit.
I don't know if that's the reason, but that would be hard bullshit. Like crazy. Capitalism.
I don't like at all. Well, we're not going to do another Bridgerton.
No.
So
no, we're not.
You're getting all of our comments for Sophie and Benedict's story now.
Yes.
If we're super motivated by something drastic that happens in part 2, I just can't see it.
Can't even think of what would have to happen to...
I can't either. And I can't honestly see us covering any more Bridgerton series.
I don't think so either, unless they like get their shit together and there's some really convincing like Eloise season or like they would have to do a lot of work, which is sad, but out she goes.
They tried.
That's so we're talking about like $1 billion. Us two are unsatisfied, so.
Oh man. So is Sophie.
I'm gonna spit out my soda.
Well,
yep. Araminta carried the show. What can I say?
And Sophie.
Yes, and Sophie. Oh my God. I want to see them in other stuff.
I do too.
Yeah. I hope that she becomes like the new like rom-com princess.
She would be good. Oh, she would be good. So one of the books that you read recently, The Kiss Quotient.
Yeah. Oh my God. That or the True Love Experiment. Okay. I'm going to start like fan casting her and stuff. That's crazy. I have not done that in like 10 years.
It was good.
It was good. It was like a 3.5, 3.75. Wow, Jordan is.
It's like a, if I have to speed through scenes, it's like a 3.
No, that's fair. A 3 that's probably the most objective.
Well, dearest gentle readers, Katie and Jordan out on this one.
Yeah. We had a fun sign off from our screen to yours.
Oh.
We could just keep it with the regular.
Well, from our shit. From our.
You have to. We'll see you on the next page.
I can't keep that.
Oh my, that was so good. You have to.
Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Like and subscribe to us on YouTube or Patreon at Not Another Heroine to support our growing library and get access to exclusive bonus content.
Ready for the next page? We post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.